Hi there, everybody. Are we up? It's always a little bit hard. I think we're live. Yes, it says live. Hi, everybody. I'm Kimberly Majeski. This is Allie Robinson, and we are coming to you live today for the first time in a long time. We haven't done this, right?
Yeah.
We're like a little bit in summer brain, I guess. But it is time to talk about the dreaded back to school. Allie, have you gotten the notes from your teachers and from your school giving you all the class lists and stuff?
We did. We got our supply list, I think last week, actually. So we bought our backpacks already and our lunch boxes. And so now we just have to get all the other goodies for class. So,
So I'm the reverse. I have all the clothing. I still have to get backpack. I have the supplies too, because I do the box.
yes.
And I have to get backpack and shoes, and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
We got to get the clothes too, but
Yeah, that's the most fun. Okay. So we wanted to come on because this is such an excellent time for you as women, as leaders in your women's ministries, to think about ways to impact your community. And Allie and I have both been part of works that agencies and churches that do this every year. And we've seen just consistently what a relief we can provide, we can help provide to teachers, to parents, and to students when we kind of step in this gap of helping get supplies, helping teachers get what they need, help students get what they need to succeed, and helping to take this burden off mamas somewhat. So, what a better thing for women who love and serve Jesus and serve women to stand in the gap for. So, Allie, I don't know if you have like priced out your school supply list, but
I
I'm
haven't
guessing
yet. But typically, I have two kids. So that's typically at least $100 to $150 a kid.
a piece.
A
Yes.
piece, yes. And so, because teachers are very specific. They want the Crayola brand. They want the Ticonderoga pencils because those are the supplies that actually last in a classroom of chaos.
Right.
So, purchasing, off-brand supplies really isn't helpful for these teachers.
Right. And Allie and I, most of you too, probably have lots of friends who are teachers, who are educators. They're already posting their lists because what's true is not every student comes in with the supplies they need to succeed at school, right?
That's right. And, my background was in children's ministry for many years. And so I volunteered at one of my local schools. And I remember a teacher handing me a $20 bill out of her wallet and saying, go buy my students some supply boxes. And I did. And
Yeah.
that's not money she gets reimbursed for. That's her money that she took out of her wallet to help students.
Right. So we've kind of seen this on all sides of the spectrum. Let's talk about the student perspective for just a minute, Allie. You and I served with a nonprofit here in town, led a nonprofit here in town before coming to CWC. And every year we did a big back to school bash because the one thing that we knew was, in the hearts of children, what it must be like to be the kid who doesn't have all her school supplies to come to first day with, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or what it's like to be the mama
Mhm.
who can't provide that,
Right.
for her child. And so we did a big back to school drive every year. And you helped us as our partner church. What were some of the things that you can remember that really blessed kids in terms of what we were able to do in those recent years?
Yeah, what I would say is, kids love to pick out their fun backpack. My little boy is a big sports fan, so he's picked out a backpack that has all the MLB players on it or the teams, So, picking out special backpacks with the little characters on it from Disney or Minecraft or whatever is really important for these kids, because then they can show up with a backpack just like the rest of the kids in the class. So, if you have some extra money stashed away, I always say buy some extra supplies for your kids' classroom, whether that's, crayons right now are around 50 cents, but after August, they'll be back up to $2 to $3 a box. So purchase those supplies now and help bless a teacher in your community, because the price point really matters right now.
Yes. So one of the things we did was we always had we would at our agency, and you could do this at your church. We'll be doing this at CWC. Uh, uh, Received all sorts of donations of school supplies. I mean, there are just some that are general, right? Their
Yes.
kids are going to need crayons, kids are going to need paper, kids are going to need
Glue stick.
erasers. They got to have glue, scissors, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And then because we served directly with these folks, we knew, that child A had to have the list from second grade at Anderson Elementary list. And we could combine all those things and put it under his name, and he could just pick up his bag with all of his supplies in it. But we let him pick out his own backpack,
Yes.
right? Because you want to be able, my kid wants a Steph Curry backpack. So anybody knows where I can find. So we're, to let them sort of make it that way.
Yes.
And so one of the things that you could do as a women's organization is you could be in conversation with a local agency that serves children and women and ask them what are their needs, right? And you could serve as a receptacle. You could, in your church, put a call out and say, we need basic school supplies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you could go get the list from Walmart, from your local schools, and say, we need these specific supplies.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think, if you were to do that, that's a great way to build a connection with a local school in your community. And so maybe you decide as your CWC group or church or whoever, you're going to adopt a classroom. And so you're going to take care of that classroom all year round. And that can be not only, if financially supporting them, but spiritually, right? So you're praying over that teacher, and you're praying over those students, and you're praying over that whole school and the principal, because we know the power of prayer is huge in these classrooms. So, I would encourage that, honestly, to build a relationship with one. If you can do one class, great. If you can do more, great. Whatever the capacity is of your group or church, I encourage you to get out and meet people in your community to make an impact.
Right. We are always saying and sort of beating the drum that, church happens out in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
We can't wait for folks to come to our doors to hear our message. We have to take Jesus and his love and his servant posture out into the streets. And this is a really prime opportunity. It is a time for us to be aware of the need and to step into it. And it just feels like, as women, and we're talking about women and children predominantly meeting the needs, it just feels like a really natural thing to do. Okay, so one is collect school supplies, and then you could partner with a local agency, because if you've been online, I'm sure that you see there are all sorts of different places that are serving children in this time. So, in our town, there's Grace Horizon, there's Marvelous Mondays, there's both of whom we partner with to make sure school supplies. Operation Love is always collecting school supplies. So what are those in your local area who are providing supplies for children? And you can either partner with that agency and provide their supplies, or, as Allie suggests, find out what an individual school or teacher needs. And that has been a really powerful way that we have done outreach. Allie, talk about what that looks like to just connect with that teacher and find out what she or he needs?
Yeah, we actually last year delivered supply boxes to local teachers in our school districts, and we actually spread the love out through a couple different districts. But we were able to provide some generic things like tissues and Clorox wipes and Expo markers. Those are pretty generic classroom wide things that you can purchase, pretty reasonable right now. And so to be able to deliver that to that teacher on, meet the teacher night, their faces just light up, because what it says to these teachers is that there are people in their community who love and support and are praying for them. And if you're a person who doesn't know Jesus and someone walks up to you and provides some supplies for kids in your class, that makes an impact. That leaves a lasting impression. And all you have to say is, we care about you. We're here for you to support you. And that's a great way to build a bridge and to introduce somebody to Jesus that may not know him.
Yeah. And Allie, like you mentioned it before, that, the teachers take out of their pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we have so many of our best friends who are educators. I think that teachers should be the highest paid office in the land.
I agree. I'm married to a teacher.
Yeah, you would like that. But these folks are with our children more hours of the day during the school year than we are.
Mm-hmm.
And for nominal pay. They deal with behavior issues. They deal with teaching multiple subjects. They deal with having to deal with parents who are either not connected or too connected.
Yeah.
There's just a host of issues that teachers have to endure with not a lot of thanks, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so to be able to go in and say, and that's what we did. Allie had the idea. We delivered supplies on Meet the Teacher night. And we just got these big, beautiful tubs I think we got them from Michael's, colorful tubs.
Yeah.
And we tried to pair it up. We put a bow on it that was that school's color.
Mm-hmm.
And we just provided some basic supplies that we knew they would need to have, that would go to use. But I mean, many churches are able to do even more than that. Think of if you were able to shop a teacher's list. I mean, all of them are posting them on their Facebook, their social media right now. Here's everything I need for my class. If you feel like helping, help, right? Get involved. That is such a hands-on, direct services, meet the need thing that your women could do that would make an incredible impact, not only to that teacher, but to that classroom, to that community, to those parents. And it's really a win-win.
Yes. And I was just going to say, everybody can do something. Whether maybe you aren't able to get out to purchase some things. Amazon is a great way. They, like Kimberly said, all of their lists are being posted. They're sharing them. And so that's a great way. Or if you know somebody who's a teacher and you just pick up the phone, like anybody can do something.
Everybody can do something. That's such a good point.
Yeah.
If you guys have questions, you can for sure post them for us. We'll do our best to answer them. But Allie, another way that I can think of that we have had a lot of fun blessing teachers is with our sort of back to school breakfast, or the way that we've been able to sponsor that. Talk a little bit about what that looks like, because this was all Allie's organization, and she took care of that for us last year, and I just got to come and take pictures. So talk a little bit about what that looks like and how to get on the list to do something like that.
Yeah, so that's a quick phone call to your local school and asking the principal there, how many staff members do you have? Can we bring some breakfast items to you, or lunch? Teachers need to eat, and they feel appreciated when you provide them some breakfast items. And so we actually went through Panera Bread and did just a quick catering order with them. We did some bagels and some pastries and some, coffee totes. And we dropped those off right before school started that first day. The teachers were able to go into their break room, get a bagel, get a cup of coffee, meet us, learn a little bit more about who we are as an agency, and there's no no strings attached is what I say. We're just here to love you and to support you, and if you need something, we're a resource for you, so reach out to us. And so again, it's a way to build a bridge and let people know you're loved, you're appreciated, you're seen. Teachers a lot of the times don't feel seen. They really do take on many roles. As Kimberly said, they become almost like social workers in a classroom. And so if you have to teach and be a social worker and do all the things that the teacher would have to do in a day, I'm not called to that, but I'm so thankful for the people who are.
Yeah, and I mean, it was such an easy thing to do. It was literally you place the order,
Yep.
we pick it up. Excuse me. I think we put out a little sheet that said, breakfast delivered to you by Christian Women Connection. They were like, "Who is Christian Women? Tell us about,"
Yeah.
which we were glad to do. But they were so surprised and so happily thankful that we had just brought bagels and coffee on the first day of school.
Yeah. And that if your group can pitch in, that's, less than $5-6 a person, depending on the size of the school. Sometimes a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but that seems like a very low hanging fruit opportunity for your church or group to get connected.
Yeah. It's about letting people in your community know they're not alone, that they're loved. And as you said, Allie, somebody sees them. So if you're taking stock, we've given you some ideas of, one, how you can help students, right? There may be students in your local church who have needs, who aren't going to be able to have that backpack or have that full list purchased. And that's something you want to be in touch with in your church, right? That's a great way to serve the people in your congregation. But you could just be folks who say, we're going to collect school supplies and we're going to deliver them either to, we've suggested an agency who is doing some kind of back to school function. They'll be so happy to tell you exactly what they need.
Yep.
Every non-for-profit needs the same thing, people and money.
Yep.
And so you can deliver those things. They will love you.
Yeah.
We don't have to reinvent the wheel, Allie. I mean, that's part of something that we know from working in a nonprofit space, but we always want to be at Christian Women Connection. We always want to come alongside those agencies that are already doing that.
Yes.
We don't need to create the schoolhouse, right? We want to come alongside folks that are already doing, how can we help? How can we step in? How can we help lessen the gap between the need and what's provided?
Yeah.
And so you can think about collecting school supplies. You can think about partnering with an agency and delivering them to those agencies, finding out what they need and how they're going to be supporting students as they go back to school and teachers. Or you could decide to partner with your local school. You could do that in terms of asking the school if you have connections or someone in your church, what does the school need? Oftentimes the school has needs. I know at our school, we have a list right now that said, you know what? These boys have destroyed all our recess ball. Every ball, they're lost, they're crashed. And so just for recess, we have a shopping list. Can you help? Right? Of course, because my kid probably squished one of the balls.
Same.
But, so your school might have needs, right? They might say, we need this many kids sponsored for lunch. We need this many baseballs. We need this many bats. So you live in a town and you have a neighborhood, and you ought to know the needs of the school in your neighborhood, right?
Right. And I will just say too, one extra resource is the school's social worker. Most schools at this time have social workers. They know if their kids in their district need something. One of the biggest items is underwear and socks. So if you see some brand new underwear and socks on sale somewhere, grab a pair, of a smaller size and drop them off because they need them.
Yeah, our friends who are kindergarten teachers desperately need underwear and
Yeah.
socks, because those things, as we know, accidents happen, and
Yep.
and so having those on hand are really important. And
Yes.
then the other way we talked about was to choose some teachers. You know, you probably know teachers. You probably have teachers in your congregation or in your community. You know, what are your needs, right? What are you going to need? What is on your list that you're not going to get from the parents, or is a shortfall that you always need more of? And how can we step into that and just go shopping?
Yeah. I love it.
Like Allie said, a lot of it is posted for you on Amazon, and you can just order that way, or you can do like we did and just go pick up some supplies and decorate a bucket and then deliver them and surprise them and bless them. That's a lot of fun. And then finally, another idea is just the back to school breakfast, whether it's coffee or a coffee truck or picking up bagels at Panera and coffee, to just say, hey, we hope you have a good year. We're here for you. And we wanted to do something nice for you because you serve our community in such an important way.
Yeah.
Is a really great way to bless some folks who deserve it.
Yeah.
Well, Allie, I appreciate you so much and just the work that you do in our community. It is really true. You know, Allie had done this work from the church point of view, as a children's pastor, and I had done this work as an agency CEO, and so we partnered together on that for you. So we've both been working on it, just kind of on the different edges, but just really appreciate Allie's initiative and the way that you help us organize these good works every year, and I always look forward to it.
Yes.
You again, like you go to bless somebody, but you're the one who leaves feeling good.
It's so true. It's so true. And, I think, again, like Kimberly said, you're in a community. You ought to know who's in your community. You ought to know those teachers. You ought to know the needs of the people who live next door to you or in your church. And so it just takes you stepping out of your comfort zone and having a conversation with your pastor or your teachers or, administrators or whoever. So.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for everybody who's tuned in. And we want you to know if we can help you in connecting with ideas or having sort of help to get your creative juices flowing. You can connect. You can contact us at hello at wchog.org. I'm putting it in the chat here.
Yeah.
There's Leah.
Yes.
You can reach out to us and we'll be so happy to help you. We want everybody to know that CWC is collecting school supplies. You can leave those at our office.
Yes.
And we will be making certain that those get to well-deserving students and teachers this year.
Yes.
Everybody has a great back to school. Allie has to get shopping. And I'm looking for a Steph Curry backpack.
Yes.
We want to say thank you and bless you. And we hope you all have a great end of your summer and back to school.
Yes. Bye, everyone.